Greetings, Kiss Nation. Today this is going to be a collection video showcasing my 2025 additions to the Kiss collection and the beginning of the year with my 2026 Kiss collection additions. Going to be showcasing, some CDs, some records, and a new thing I'm collecting. Some new Kiss collection rabbit holes I've gone down recently, but I find quite interesting. Alright, so let's get this going. With one of the first things I got last year was another instant live from the Rock the Nation tour. This is at UMB Bank Pavilion in Maryland Heights, Missouri. This is basically in St. Louis, Missouri, but still, this is another instant live concert from the Rock the Nation tour. And it's one I've never really heard of before. I've never really heard of the St. Louis concert, but be that as it may, it's a pretty cool concert. They didn't really pull out any special songs for this concert. It's a pretty standard Kiss concert. The only thing that I can say that they, I guess, added for this concert was the fact that they did Cold Gin. But other than that, it's your basic Rock the Nation Kiss set list. I can say that. It's cool. I like the show. It's pretty cool. It's a good show. Next order of business is some thrift store finds. Like I told you last year, I've been going to this local thrift store in my area that has a bunch of Kiss, both in records and in CD. And this is one of the finds I got last year. This is double platinum. I have a remastered cassette of double platinum, and I have a 97 remastered CD double platinum, but this is, as Rick would call it, the high school edition double platinum. I think this is the Casablanca and Polygram Records released double platinum, and this is pretty cool. I guess this is a original issue of double platinum on CD, but it's pretty cool. My only knowledge of double platinum was the remastered stuff, so seeing one with the actual spine on a CD, it's pretty cool. And I gotta admit, this double platinum CD looks pretty sweet. I do like that. What I do miss out of the remastered CDs is kind of seeing all the info when I look into the CD case and kind of seeing all the info. And we don't get the embossed Kiss faces in the CD case, so that's pretty. It's kind of like a letdown, but oh well. Another thing I got from the thrift store is Crazy Nights. I used to own Crazy Nights on CD. Then I kind of lost it in the move and found this at a thrift store, the same thrift store where all my Kiss comes from, and I couldn't pass up the opportunity to grab this CD again. And Crazy Nights, I do like this album. There's a couple songs on here that I'm not that big of a fan on, but over the years, I think I've grown to appreciate them. Like, the No 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 is, it's one I've grown to appreciate, and My Way is okay. I mean, I've heard it live over the years from Kiss My Ass, and I think that song is great live. Then songs I do like is When Your Walls Come Down, Good Girl Gone Bad. My favorite is Thief in the Night, but it's always been my favorite Gene song off this album. It kicks so much ass. I love that song. Also, one of my favorite Gene songs is Hell or High Water, another great Gene song. But I do love the hell out of Thief in the Night. Great song. And it's kind of cool looking at it. Kiss just have Mercury on the front of it. Pretty cool also. And keeping the Crazy Nights stuff going, this is a bootleg unofficial CD I picked up, last year. This is the Crazy Nights Demos and Outtakes album, where it's basically demos of songs that made it to Crazy Nights, like the songs themselves, or just unreleased Kiss songs, like Are You Always This Hot, Hide Your Heart, which was demoed for Crazy Nights, but made it to Hot in the Shade. And you got Sword in the Stone. Then you got some Paul Stanley demos, like like the Best Man for You, which is my favorite unreleased 80s Paul Stanley demo ever. We got Don't Let Go, Time Traveler, which we all know that one. When Two Hearts Collide, and Jump the Gun, whatever that is. But I do know Best Man for You, Don't Let Go, and When Two Hearts Collide. Aside from Time Traveler, which we all know Time Traveler, thanks to the 2000s Kiss box set. And a little bit deeper, Bruce Kulick's band played it on Kiss Cruise a few years back. So yeah, open up the thing. We got some nice pictures of Kiss from Crazy Nights era. I think this is from that festival show they did for Monsters of Rock from like '88. That looks pictures look exactly like from that. Excuse me. The pictures look like they're taken from like the Monsters of Rock festival show that they did. And I do love the picture on the CD. Also pretty cool. All right. And as always, just like last year I showed Rock and Roll Over, here's another copy of Rock and Roll Over. This time it's on CD, and we got the 1997 remastered CD of Rock and Roll Over. And I got this new and sealed at the thrift store, and I couldn't pass this up because I do own a lot of media of Rock and Roll Over. I've shown on this channel. I've shown obscured cassettes, 8-tracks, record, and now I'm showing it again on CD. And this being the remastered CD, much like the cassette, again, that's a, you can tell this was new and sealed, never been opened, because that was a little bit tough to get out. I do like what the CD looks like. That is so kick-ass. I love that. That's so awesome. We do get to see the info on the CD, like I always looked at every time I put the CD in my CD player and kind of look at the info while listening to the music. That was always fun for me to do when I was getting into Kiss with these specific kinds of CDs. Like Rick referred to the original release of a CD like this as his high school edition. Well, the remastered copies of the CDs were my high school edition albums for Kiss. And it was cool to find one new and sealed because it just kind of brought back a lot of memories of going into Walmart and getting like a Kiss CD from like the music aisle. That was pretty fun. Now, keeping in the theme, we're going back to soundboards. This is one I've shown off countless times on the channel, even in last month's vinyl tag. This is the Albuquerque 84 soundboard. For those of you who may have not seen the vinyl tag video, this album was supposed to be next in line on the Off the Soundboard lineup, but Vinnie Vincent put out a litigation to Gene and Paul, and now on top of that, the move that Kiss did with Pop House kind of shelved the whole concert, and it was never put out by Kiss and Universal and all that stuff. But one way or another, it did come out, and I got my hands on it, and it's a pretty cool soundboard. It's a very clear sounding soundboard, put it that way. It's cool. I like it. You do get some Lick It Up deep cuts like All Hell's Breaking Loose and Gimme More, which I've never heard Gimme More live before. You do get the classic Fits Like a Glove and Lick It Up, stuff like that, which you expect to hear on this concert. But stuff like All Hell's Breaking Loose, Young and Wasted, and Gimme More, I didn't expect it, but it was kind of nice that they played them. And let me just kind of open it up, and you get like a nice pictures of the Kiss at the time. Gene in that vest. I do like this picture of, like, you know, Paul and Vinny kind of side by side. All right. This is the Now on top of that, it's a pretty cool soundboard, and it's kind of interesting to kind of have a soundboard that was kind of what could have been on the next Oppa soundboard series, if Kiss after the Poughkeepsie soundboard, and it's kind of cool. Next, from the thrift store finds of CDs, I walked away with this Psycho Circus, and I never owned this on CD, so it's kind of cool to look at it and have that cool looking hologram effect cover. It's kind of cool, really. And I know on the 180 gram releases that Kiss did for this album, they did include the hologram looking cover. So I do find that to be cool. And Psycho Circus is a pretty cool album. I did a whole deep dive review on Psycho Circus a long time ago, back in 2018, and I found this album to be pretty cool, except for maybe like a few songs here and there. I'm not the biggest fan on Journey of a Thousand Years and We Are One, but however, I will admit that when Kiss did it for Kiss Cruise a few years ago, I thought the song translated well live. Just something about it being in a studio, I just didn't like. And on top of that, when I listened to Kiss Rubber Band's acoustic live album, I thought it sounded great when on their live album. So the song does sound good live. It's not one of those songs that sounds well in the studio for me. Another song I can't get into is I Finally Found My Way to You. It's a piece of shit song. I don't like it. I've always said it's like them trying to make a Beth Part 2 and it falls flat on its ass. And I still feel that way about it. But everything else on this album is pretty cool. My favorite song on this album is Raise Your Glasses. I love that. I do like the fact that they made a song called You One of the Best. It's kind of cheesy naming a song after your catchphrase, but it's cool. It's cool. I like that. Into the Void is nice. I love that. It's a great fucking Ace song. Within is the only Gene song on this album, but I actually do enjoy because it's pretty much a basic, heavy Gene song. I love that. Alright, that's it for the CDs. Well, music CDs. We'll get into this new collection rabbit hole in a bit. But next, on to the DVDs that I got in the Christmas season of last year. And these are, this is it. This is Kiss and Cobo Hall in '76. These are pro shot videos of Kiss and Cobo Hall, all 3 nights, night 2 and night 3. And a while back I did review a Cobo Hall box set of literally all of these nights. So it's kind of nice to have the actual footage of the nights along with the box set of basically the same quality of sound. But it's nice to have basically this is a companion to go along with the box set I have. And it's pretty cool because I do like night 1 because they included Ladies in Waiting before they did Nothing to Lose, they did Ladies in Waiting, and it's brought one of the only few 70s songs that Kiss played back then that didn't leave the 70s up until I started doing Kiss cruises and stuff like that. And it's pretty cool. I mean, I do love pictures on the back, especially that Gene picture. I'm a sucker for seeing a bloody Gene picture. Even though it's not much blood, I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. And the other nights are more or less the same. They drop Ladies in Waiting for night 2 and night for 3, so it's not really. So it's basically kind of what you would have seen before, like on Kiss Alive, minus Rock Bottom, that is. But these are pretty cool, and I guess I can show you the artwork. We do have full color artwork on these DVDs, so we're not looking at a blank disc, which have artwork to look at, which is pretty nice. I like that. I'm not gonna get the other two DVDs out because I think the artwork is gonna look the same or maybe similar to this. But like I said, this is a nice companion to have to go along with the Cobo Hall box set that I had and talked about like a few years ago. Really cool. Alright, so now let's get on to more thrift store finds. Keeping in theme with what I got last year. I showed this off in the vinyl tag, but I feel like it's only justice that I show this off in a collection video. This is the Millennium Concert vinyl, which I did, where I find all my Kiss stuff in my local area. This was placed in the back, where all the Kiss stuff is, and this was new and sealed, and I paid $46 for this album. Which, if you know about finding the Millennium Concert on the internet, this was a really good deal, and to basically pay $46 for a 180 gram Kiss album that's new and sealed, that's pretty good. I'll take that. And one of the things that I did mention in the vinyl tag video is that the record, this release of the record, did a better job at placing 2000 Man and God of Thunder on this than the CD release of Millennium Concert. Because, like I said, the CD just slapped 2000 Man and God of Thunder right at the end of the concert. You do Rock and Roll Night, then you do 2000 Man and God of Thunder, which in my opinion didn't really make a whole lot of sense. So I'm glad when they put this album on record, I'm glad they kind of fixed that issue. Because like for me, it didn't make sense to have two songs that don't really work out as closing songs to be at the end of a CD of a live album. That didn't really make sense to me. And I also do gotta say I do love this back picture of Kiss on stage. That is pretty cool. Alright, now for some more recent finds. This is also from the thrift store. This is an Ace Frehley album, but it's a best of album. It's called Ace Frehley Now Playing. This was also new and sealed, and for $22. This was again, a pretty good deal. There were other Kiss albums I wanted while I was looking around and found this, and there were others that caught my attention, which I'll show one after I'm not showing this one. But I liked this one because I don't have much records for Ace. I only have the Frehley's Comment, and that was it. So I figured I wanted to get a new and sealed Ace record, and this was a new release. This was released last year by Rhino, and the songs are on here is like Rock Soldiers, Breakout, Into the Night, Calling to You, Insane, Dancing with Danger, It's Over Now, Shot Full of Rock, Hide Your Heart and Trouble Walking. Pretty good. It's mostly full of Frehley's Comment songs, but the last three are from Trouble Walking, which is pretty cool. I like that. I think this is kind of cataloging Ace's first three albums. Obviously, from Frehley's Comment to Second Sighting to Trouble Walking. I'm pretty sure that's what this is doing. But either way, it's a pretty cool album, and I will show the vinyl because it is a colored vinyl. All right, that's actually a pretty cool color. I haven't really seen this before. The color of a vinyl. I do like that, and that's a really cool label. Yeah, it's a nice color of blue. Okay. And now for the final thrift store find for the year, for so far, not for the year, but so far, my final thrift store find is this Kiss Alive for free. And I've been going after this on 180gram for a bit now, because I have now Alive, Alive 2, Millennium Concert, and finally this. All I'm missing in the live albums is Symphony and Rocks Vegas, which I'm not I'm not betting on finding Symphony and Rocks Vegas in the thrift store where I keep getting lucky and finding all this stuff. That'll be that'll be incredible if I can score Symphony for a very low price, but I ain't holding out hope for that. I see how pricey that can get on the internet. But anyways, Kiss Alive 3. I've been going after Kiss Alive 3 on vinyl for a pretty long time, since I've been going after 180gram, and I do love this album. I do love Alive 3. It's one of my Kiss intro albums, like Alive 2 was, which is why whenever I started the record collection and the 8-track collection and the cassette collection, I always start with Alive 2, or get it at some point, because that album and this album has always got to fit into the collections at some point. Because I do have Alive 3 on cassette, and have Alive 2 on cassette, Alive 2 on 8-track, and on record. Now, I will say Alive 3 does do one thing different on vinyl compared to what the original CD release did. This 180-gram pressing of Alive 3 includes a bonus song from the Revenge album, Take It Off, which is a little bit different than, excuse me again guys, sorry, which is a little bit different than how the original Alive 3 CD was. You would get I Just Wanna, Unholy, Domino, and that was it. There was no extra fourth song on the original CD release. The only place that Kiss themselves added Take It Off for Alive 3 was that Alive CD box set, which was cool and everything, but it also begs the question, why didn't they include it in the original CD release in the first place? But also it's nice that they included it in the record release for 180gram. It's pretty cool. And like I said, Alive 3 is one of my intro albums, and I always do have a soft spot for this album. I love this version of Watching You, this version of Deuce, Rock and Roll Night, and I love this version of I Was Made for Loving You. This version of that song fucking rocks. That is awesome. Also, I Love It Loud. This is kind of the first album where I heard that song live and heard it in general. Creatures of the Night, the intro, that's awesome. Heaven's on Fire, always kicks ass. So yeah, I mean, and also I love this picture of him on stage. Gene with his fist in the air, Paul doing that pose, Bruce doing his thing, and the Statue of Liberty as the stage prop. It's always a good picture to look at on this cover. So yeah, this was also doing sealed, as all my Kiss records apparently have been so far when I go to the Kiss section in the back of the thrift store, and I've been getting pretty lucky with that so far. All right, so now I'm going to be showcasing a new rabbit hole of Kiss collecting I've gone down recently. Starting with this. Kiss, the Television Collection 76 to 78. This is a VCD of some Kiss content. And what a VCD is basically basically what it is. It's a video with some it's a CD that can play as video. It's kind of like a, well, record just fell off the bed. Way to go. Basically it's a CD that can play video, and it's kind of like this in between format between a DVD and a CD kind of thing. But basically what this is not put up by Kiss. This is a unofficial one, and it's kind of like what I expect out of Kiss Vision in a sense. And it's kind of what I expect out of them. And it's got some stuff on here, but it's like really interesting. We got Badon Kirshner's rock concert. We got Rock and Roll Over's album. We got album. We got the TV ad for Love Gun, and we got some news clips. We got a TV ad for Alive 2. We got a Live 2 promo video. We got the American Music Awards. The ad for the Kiss Radio. Ad for Double Platinum. A lot of ads in this because VCDs can't really hold a lot of content. Well, they can't on one single disc. But here's the label. It's not really that impressive, but it is something to look at. And here's the other one from a Television Collection from Dynasty 79. Again, this is like another Kiss Vision-esque type of thing. We got the ad for Dynasty, the promo stuff, and we got the Don Kirshner's rock concert promo videos of Us for Loving You and Sure Knows Something. We also got the some news footage and some the 2020 thing that Rick has mentioned a lot in the past on his channel. ABC News reports of Kiss and Sal, special look at the marketing behind Kiss. Jerry Lewis Telethon, which, okay. News footage of St. Louis, news clip in Seattle News, Kiss World, Kids News Programming. Then, of course, the classic interview with Tom Snyder at the end to cap it off, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so VCDs are, this is, like I said, this is unofficial, but the labels are, you got something nice to look at. And the quality on these, like the quality on these, they're okay. Like I said, it's kind of like watching a different form of Kiss Vision stuff. But yeah, it's cool. All right. Hope sec, guys. I gotta grab some more stuff. Okay, I'm back and I have more stuff that I forgot to add to this video, but I had to cut away so I can quickly grab it. All right. Back to things. One of the other cool things I went down this rabbit hole and discovered is this. And no, this is not a single CD of Tears Are Falling. This is another video format. This is called a CD video, or CDV. And what this is and how you play it on a Laserdisc player if you want to get the full video, and if you just want to listen to the music, you just play it on a CD player or like a DVD player. But if you want to catch the whole thing, you put it on a Laserdisc player and go from there. You get the video first and the audio second, and it's a cool thing. I mean, there's a lot of these out there. I grabbed this one first because this was like the cheapest one I could get. The rarest one to get is, let's put the X in sex, and that's one I'm probably gonna have to wait on for a bit. But these are actually put out by Mercury, and that was like, that's pretty interesting by finding this out. It was like, this was actually put out by Mercury to basically, I think, to promote Kiss's albums, because these were all they were putting these out during the whole span of Kiss's non-makeup career, mostly during the 80s, not during the 90s. Um, so yeah, I think this is pretty cool. If you want to get your hands on both the music video and the audio, you get like 4 songs from Asylum or any Kiss album have one of these, or 2 of them in fact, and you get a music video. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And back to the VCDs, I didn't expect to find this, but I found it anyway, and I found Kiss Exposed, the best video clips. Now, this was also put up by Kiss. It's got the Universal logo on there, but this is not fully Kiss Exposed. This is basically what it says on the case. It's Kiss Exposed, the video clips, you know, what they showed after you cut away from like the cheesy 80s documentary interview pieces. Who Wants to Be Lonely, All Night, I Love It Loud, Deuce, Strutter, Beth, Truck City, Tears Are Falling, Lick It Up, All Hell's Breaking Loose, I Love It Loud, I Saw Your Love, Heaven's on Fire, Ladies Room, and Rock and Roll Night. You get the music videos and all that stuff, and the live clips. You do not get the whole thing, which I understand you really can't fit the whole thing on one disc, but it's kind of a shame that you don't get it, but it's kind of cool that they gave us the music from Exposed. That's kind of cool, and I do like the cover that they chose. It's basically all makeup Kiss, like from like the Psycho Circus era. This is from Psycho Circus on the front, same on the back, and when you open it up, you get it the same era on the this right here, and again on the CD itself. When you take it out of the holder, you get Gene's 78 solo artwork. It's pretty cool, minus the that green piece of paper. I don't know how the hell that got in there. But yeah, this was a cool thing to find, and at least learn that, you know, Kiss did put the Exposed video clips on some form of format. But I guess if you want to, you know, watch just the music stuff, you get this. But if you want to watch the whole thing, you either get it on DVD or VHS or Laserdisc. That's also an option. And now for one that really threw me off, and that is this Kiss: The Second Coming on VCD. I didn't know this existed. Well, in the past several months, I didn't know a lot of this VCD shit existed. But it's cool that, you know, this existed, and this kind of goes back to my saying. But if they could put Kiss: The Second Coming, this is on 2 discs. If they could fit it on this, there is no way that they couldn't fit Exposed on VCD also, because it's pretty clear that you can fit a Kiss documentary on this format. So why didn't I kind of raised the question, why couldn't they fit Exposed on a VCD? But, you know, I'll never know that answer probably. But another cool thing about this is new and sealed. It's been a bit since I've actually gotten a new Kiss item that's new and sealed. And this version of The Second Coming came out in the 29th of January 2001. So this one's a bit newer than what the DVDs and VHS were coming out. And because I got this yesterday, I wanted to take this out of plastic wrap on video. I always love breaking the seals on video when I get a chance to. Alright. After all this time, the plastic is still very tough. That's good packaging. I'm trying to be careful that I don't break it or ruin this sleeve if the disc is in. Oh man. Got it. All right. So now let's kind of nice. I do like that fire bar on the spine. That's sweet. Oh, some plastic fell off from a CD case. That's not surprising. But I do love this picture of Kiss on this picture right here. That's pretty cool. And I do like this. I can gently take the discs out. Fresh that. I do love the disc. It's red with jeans makeup. That's cool. I like that. What does the other disc look like? Does it have like jeans makeup on it also? Ooh. Yeah, it does. It's also pretty cool. You can tell this is really, you can tell this is new and kind of, the plastic is wearing out because like, this shit almost broken with my hands. That would not been the preferred way to keep us out of the seal. But like I said, this has been in the seal for like a good bit now, since 2001, and I just broke it today. But yeah, this does have a whole documentary, and this one does include some bonus videos. This includes Shandy, Turok City, and Shout It Out Loud, which I'm very curious as to what video of Turok City they put in this. I have a suspicion on what video for Shout It Out Loud it is. It's Tiger Stadium. I know what video for Shandy they've put in, but I don't know what video for Turok City they added, because to my knowledge, it could be Paul Lynde Halloween, or it could be, you know, the footage from the movie Turok City. You never know. Now, speaking of Kiss Vision, we're going right back to Kiss Vision. I remember like in 2024, I went down a Kiss Vision rabbit hole and got a bunch of Kiss Vision DVDs. Well, this time I just got like a few. I got this one. This is the media collection from 74 to 78, and it's got some stuff that I have seen, but haven't seen in quite a bit. The stuff that we've heard of, like ABC's in Concert, The Mike Douglas Show, Cadillac, Michigan Home Film. Then we got Ron Sanders TV News, Supermax Kinkle News, which I've seen in other media collections from Kiss Vision. People's Choice Award from 76, Nightbird, The Last Word, a Live Stream promotional film, which I have seen before. The Land of Hype and Glory, which we all know that one. And the Dick Clark's Golden Greats of 78, which I've seen before, previously. But yeah, this is a cool one, and you know, Kiss Vision will sometimes have just a blank disc or some artwork. In this case, we have some. It's kind of bare minimum, but it's something. Next up, we have the Elder Media Collection, and this is one that is one of it I've been after for a bit, because it's got some stuff that I've been interested in. It's got like the Fridays performance in more uncut than what Kiss did for Kissology. Kissology kind of cuts into it by the host or whoever on Fridays is saying, "Let's watch Ralph and Millie's favorite band, Kiss." We didn't get the what this version shows is whoever's introducing Kiss is talking to Ralph and Millie. Whoever, I guess I'm not really supposed to know who the hell they are. But anyways, it's just part of it. It's just part of a gag that some old couples, like some of Kiss's biggest fans, when I guess they'd be part of the whole Knights in Satan's Service people. But from that time period, yeah, from that time period. But we got some people, we got some stuff like the Solid Gold performance, we got Casey Kasem's interview with Kiss, so that was pretty cool. Which is pretty cool. We got the promo video, which I haven't seen before. So this would be probably interesting to see it on this. And the artwork itself is pretty cool. We got some nice artwork on this, which is the Elder Candle and the Kiss Vision logo. It's pretty cool. I like that. And for the final thing today, still the Kiss Vision, but we have this, the Peter Criss Project, which is basically the Columbus concert with Eddie Cannon on drums. And I've been after this concert on DVD for a bit. I do have the concert digitally, which is how I put it on my YouTube channel, but I never owned it physically. And I will say, quality-wise, it's different. Compared to what I've posted on YouTube in the past, it's different. And sound-wise, it's a little bit different also. It has some echo effect to it that the one I posted didn't have. But it's cool. I like that. I'm guessing this was the original stuff, and the one I have just kind of was rezzed up, I guess. I don't know. But I always loved this Columbus show. This is kind of one of my favorite shows from the reunion tour because Peter couldn't perform, and they needed a fill-in, and there was a drum tech. And I've always loved this show. This is always one of my favorite shows from the reunion tour, and it's just, apart from the show where Gene lost his voice and Paul had to cover and do his stuff also, which is another highlight on the tour also. But I love stuff like that when that happens. It's kind of cool. It's cool. I like that. And we get kind of no artwork. It's kind of nothing. But I do like this show. It's pretty cool. And I do plan on getting more Kiss Vision in the near future. So this is pretty cool. So there you have it. This has been my 2025-2026 Kiss collection video. Hope you liked it, and I'll do a little bit of a channel update as I'm closing things up. I've been busy with stuff for a bit because I haven't really gotten time to listen to Peter Criss's new album, but when I will have some free time coming up pretty soon, so I'll let you guys know when the review is coming, even though I can't post it to YouTube because YouTube won't allow the music on YouTube. So I'll let you know when the review is coming, and I'll let you know where you can watch it, and I'll let you guys know all of that. But in the meantime, this has been my collection update, my collection video from 25 to 26. Hope you liked it. Until next time, I'll see you around. Later.